Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban. He raps and he knows the economy.
Yeah, we'll stop with the rapping.
Right. Great to see you on the couch. Good job.
I know. I feel so special.
You know, because you are one of the guys on Shark Tank, we've got some ideas for some businesses.
You know, this is a short segment.
No,
You get that all the time now, right?
How about this? An artificial heart that is also dishwasher safe.
How much time did you spend thinking on it?
It's a first.
Yes,
Mark,
it is.
let's talk
It'll
about
last.
the election. What do you think about this election this year?
Crazy, isn't it? Now they're trolling each other on Twitter. And it's just, you know, what everybody learned in civics class, what happened, right? This is the American way. It's just crazy. And hopefully at some point we'll get to the issues.
What are the issues that you think we should be getting to?
The economy, more than anything. I think a lot of the headline issues, even immigration, is more a reflection of people being angry about not having jobs, not getting wage increases.
Sure. Speaking of the economy, we've got some graphics we're going to put up and have. You're the first billionaire we've talked to today. In 2000,
we got Trump's voicemail.
Household median income in the United States was $57,342. Now it's actually less than that. In 16 years, the median household income has gone down. That's not a step in the right direction.
No, it's not a step in the right direction, but you have to ask why. And I don't think it's because of anything that's happened politically. I think, you know, technology has just changed the game. We're in a different world now, and the real thing is it's going to get worse before it gets better.
In what way?
We're going to see technology replace jobs, and we have to start understanding what steps we're going to take to replace those jobs.
But the problem is we no longer make anything in this country, and we're
no, that's not
more
true.
of a service industry.
That's not true. There's a lot more service industry, but we make more things. The problem is we become so productive that it takes a lot fewer people to do it. So, you know,
efficiency, absolutely.
And on top of that, we need smarter people. Because it takes fewer people, those people have to be trained in different ways than we're used to being trained.
What's the incentive to open up a small business here when you're paying so much in corporate tax?
Because we want to get rich, and it's not about corporate taxes. I've started. I can't even count how many businesses.
How many?
Now, I don't even know.
Shark Tank aside.
Shark Tank aside, I mean, starting when I was 12, you know, probably 15, 16 businesses for real, and not one single time did I ever consider corporate taxes. Not one, or personal taxes. You know, an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur, whether you're born or you're bred or you've taught yourself and you're ready to go. Once you've prepared and you're ready to take that step, the absolute last thing on your mind is corporate taxes.
But if you're paying lower taxes, then you could hire more people.
Well, yes and no, right? Because, look, I have a saying, the risk doesn't leave the system, right? And so in America, pre-60s, we let people, you know, you did your own thing, right? You were responsible for yourself 100% of the way. And then, you know, there's the Great Society in the 60s, and then we kept on adding services. Then in the 80s, Reagan said you couldn't die in the street, you could go in the hospital, right? So we started taking more and more responsibility for people. That costs money. And so despite the fact we're going to have to pay for that somehow. And so we can say we don't want to pay for it, but that risk and that cost is still there. And we just have to figure out better ways to accomplish it.
So then, for example, if you make $1 billion and they take 60% of it, a lot of people like you sit on the sidelines and go, wait a second, why am I doing this?
Yeah, I don't look at it that. I'll tell you this, and I've written a blog post about this. After military service, the most patriotic thing I feel like I do is pay taxes, because I didn't get these opportunities for free. I've got to pay for that military. I've got to pay for our position in the world. I've got to pay for the fact that all this is here.
Do you pay too much?
No, I don't. Now the question, to your point, Brian, 60%. Now, if I'm making $100 million in a year, and am I paying 60% on that million, you know, $100 million and $1, then I might make a decision that's a little bit different, right? But if the things that we need to have taken care of are not taken care of, it's going to cost me more. The biggest risk for a business person is when there's unrest in the street.
So if corporate tax is not the issue here, then
I didn't say corporate. We talked about personal taxes.
All right, if taxes are not the issue for you, what do these candidates need to be focusing on? You said economy, but can you elaborate?
There's short-term and there's long-term, right? I think we have to make it simpler to start companies. And so if you go to start a company, it doesn't matter if it's a lemonade stand and you're 9 years old, or it's you're a plumber and you want to start a business, or you're a technologist and you have the next Uber. You're going to have to hire an accountant, you're going to have to hire a lawyer. It's too expensive. There's too much resistance in the way to start a company. I think you need to grease the skids and make it far simpler.
Great point. what does, you said patriotic paying taxes, patriotic supporting the military. Third thing would be service. That's what, that's what
I put
political
service
office
ahead of
could
it.
be.
Yeah,
What do you think you could bring to the table politically that has you considering, when you didn't 5 years ago or 2 years ago, running for office, being a vice president, being a president?
A couple things. One, I'm fiercely independent. We are so we're so partisan right now that, you know, we dehumanize the other side. So nobody's going to talk. You know, if Hillary gets elected, the Republicans are going to, it's going to be worse than their dealings with Obama. And if Trump gets elected, it's not going to be much better. You need somebody who's down the middle, who has good relationships with both sides, that doesn't have the baggage that comes with being part of either party.
Is there something you know in business?
Well, that's one. Two is technology, right? We talk about raising the minimum wage, and there's going to be an acceleration of technology to replace those jobs. That acceleration is coming anyway, so you've got to find ways to replace those jobs. Robotics are coming. You know, we walk into an Apple store, and there's no longer a cashier. You know, all those jobs are not coming back.
Everything made by Apple is made in China.
Well, that's a different.
That's a big issue.
It is a big issue, but you know what? Like, I live in Texas. In Texas, our biggest trading partner is Mexico.
Sure.
If we stop trading, if there's a wall, the Texan economy goes into the toilet.
Sure.
Why?
Right? Because they're our biggest
illegals?
trade.
Sure.
No, it's not that we need illegal, because we need the trade.
Yeah.
Right? We need to do business with them. A big part, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars of our trade is with Mexico.
But is it unfair trade deals, or just are these trade deals bad, or trade deals in its sense are good, but the wrong type of deal is bad?
No, I mean, look, you can say that about any deal, right? Negotiating a deal that impacts the entire world is never easy. There's no such thing as a perfect deal. Any deal you've ever negotiated, not both sides are thrilled with.
Okay, before you go, I've got one final business idea.
Sure.
How about if there was an app where you could actually get a taxi through your smartphone?
Okay, you had to bring that up, right? Because, you know, Uber, the first guy he came to was me.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I had financed his previous company, and so I said, Travis, great idea, but you're going to run into all these regulatory hurdles. Let's renegotiate. And he found somebody else who gave him 10 times the money at 10 times the price.
The big one that got away. Mark Cuban, thank you very much.
I think he's still going to be okay.
Yeah, I think I'll be all right.
Hey, that's so nice of you to come in.
Appreciate it, Brian. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Enjoyed it.
Congratulations on
And
your
congratulations to your daughter playing at Carnegie Hall.
Thank you. That's exciting.
All right.